Hey guys, it's Alani. So I wanted to go back to my roots of when I started to make labs content is going back to a lot of my educational options, things not options, but things that I've talked about. And I really haven't had the spoons to do that. Like genuinely, I haven't. There's just a lot of outside stuff going on. But I did have a little bit of spoons today. Okay. So I remember a while ago somebody had asked me about the unicorns operations, and I can't find your original comment. I'm so sorry. I don't even remember what video it was under, but they wanted to have some direction about how to understand the unicorn operation trials. So just like with the chaos trials, you have to read. I cannot understate that enough. You cannot just click and hope that you get whatever, kind of like how the chaos thing was, and you can just kind of click and do all that other stuff. That's not really an option here. But I do want to talk about some of the similarities between that and what's happening with the unicorn operations. It does have similar setups, okay? So just like in the chaos trials or finding Tobias or whatever, you have the main companion that is on trial, okay? And that is going to be the one that kind of gives you more points per se. You can choose other ones, but once again, stick to the person who's on trial. And this is honestly good practice for the companion if you do not have them or you haven't had much use for them or you haven't played them yet, okay? So this is a good way to kind of touch your toes into what a myth companion can do because that's what primarily is on trial is myth companions while there are some standard ones, but it's primarily myth, right? So the thing with the unicorn trials, just like with the finding Tobias and chaos trials, is you have certain things that will allow certain choices to play out in the game. So depending on what you select, that is going to help and change the narrative into the story going forward. Now, the thing that differs with the unicorn operation is that depending on what choices you make in the selections will also gear towards more openings towards the academy, the rangers, and I can't think of the name of the other one at this exact moment. I'll pull it up in a second. But depending on what choices you make and what battles you select or encounters that you go with will increase your influence later down the line, which in turns, once you finish one cycle and go on to the next one, depending on the higher capability or higher influence that you had, you then get to move forward with just that option going forward, which allows you to complete. So if you have more of the blue, which is the academy, you get to go towards the academy file. If you get more towards the orange, which is the rangers, you get to go forward. And if you get more of the green, then you go towards that story. Those three branches, depending on your influence, will determine how far you can get into the actual trial itself. So just give me a second. So this goes based off action points, and each action point allows you to select a certain thing. Now, after you select two or three, you do get the option to go towards like the main battle. I would not suggest that, and that is primarily because if you jump skip all of the previous battles or encounters or luck pools, there is a negative effect that can happen, which will hinder you going forward. It doesn't always mean that you will lose, but you will get a negative attribution with your battles going forward. But like I was saying about the different factions, right here, if you select it, it'll break it down for you. You probably can't see because of the glare, but you have the thing I can't pronounce, which is the green. You have the academy, and then you have ranger, right? So each battle that you go towards or select, faction influence is a factor. So you see here, which you really can't, you have the things that's going to give you influence for all of them. You have the main one, which is in this instance, it's green. Then you have the orange, and then you have the other one, which is the encounter. So you have battle, 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 encounter, right? Depending on which one you choose, that will give you more influence towards your faction. Okay. So this is why I said reading is fundamental, and you also very heavily want to see what you did the last time so that you can pick something different going forward. Okay. All right. Then you have things like gear sets. This helps buff your character and your myth companion character in the battles going forward. So it is very important to select things that will help buff your character in bigger battles like Crisis or the end of the Sentinel. So again, you can go forward, but look and read at what they do, and also try to find combinations that you haven't had before. So if you see something new, click it. If you see things that you really don't want, you can refresh those. Just like I said, there's duality here. Just like in Fighting Tobias in the Chaos Trials, you have the option to refresh, to spend the 30 little coins or stones and see if you can get a different thing to hopefully complete your set. And just like going forward, sometimes if you don't see that and you're able to level up that gear, that's also beneficial as well. So items are also important. Read what they do. Pick an item that you know is going to help you buff going forward or things that can give you more rewards down the line. So if you are confused about what to do or what any of this means, and I'm not trying to make a personal dig at you, I'm just saying you're not reading. You're not reading and you're not taking your time. This is something that you have to take your time with, okay? The other things is once you do complete a cycle, or even if you have to end it, there are different rewards that happen. So that little puzzle cube that kind of looks like a Rubik's cube, those help you further into your buff overall. Okay, so reading those are very, very important. Just like with finding Tobias and all that other stuff, you've heard me make that comparison a lot, and that's because they are quite similar. So if you read and take your time, you will be able to understand the unicorn operation to see what it does. I promise you.